clap, so it helps me sync up the audio. Okay, and we are ready to start. You guys have anything off the top for the memo here?
Let's do some potting.
Some potting.
Another episode, another recording studio.
I want to actually start it off. I saw Rambo yesterday, the new Rambo.
Was it terrible?
It actually, all right, everything besides him fucking people up was terrible. But the action was pretty cool. He really ragged them.
I feel like that's what every action movie is these days.
Nah, but this was like
good,
over the top.
It
was honestly like pretty dark for a Rambo movie. I mean, I don't love the old ones. I only saw the first one. Have you ever seen them?
I've never seen one.
It's just Sylvester Stallone.
You all right
just
there?
I'm trying to fix the mic.
You know. All right, how you feel?
Sylvester Stallone.
It's just
is
never
Rambo?
at the right height.
Yeah, he's Rambo, and it's just him. You know, every movie is him ragging people. And what's wrong?
It's too high now.
You know, fuck with it the whole time. But yeah, it was pretty dark, honestly. He's like adopted.
Posture up there.
His adopted daughter gets kidnapped by like a Mexican gang, and then he tries to go find her, and then they beat his ass, and like he gets sent away, and then they like rape her and murder her.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was just like, oh, fuck. I was not expect. Now, they actually don't. They just, like, drug her up mad with heroin, and he does save her, and then she dies in his car. And then he fucks them all
Did
up.
Stallone go, Adrian?
Probably. I don't know.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Never seen Rocky.
But, yeah, it was pretty entertaining. So I thought
Was
I'd
it like
start it off
John
there.
Wick?
No, John Wick's way better.
Oh.
You
It was-
think it'll be a problem that I'm too close to your mic?
Well, I don't know. No, I think it'll be fine. These mics are pretty good with picking up only good voices.
Oh, that's true, right? You got to talk directly.
Yeah,
into
you
it.
got to talk into this side.
Good voices, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Who else is in Rambo?
Honestly, nobody I know. Even in the old ones, it was
I can't
just.
believe Sylvester Stallone is still making movies.
He's pretty. Like, I'm pretty sure the Creed
He must
movies,
be
he's pretty
rich
good.
as fuck.
Yeah, he's loaded. He's Rambo. He's Rocky. He's everywhere. Everyone loves Sylvester Stallone. He's in
what were
Spy
the-
Kids.
And what was that other action movie? The Untouchables or something?
Oh, the Expendables,
The
where like him,
Expendables.
all the action heroes
Close
of
The
history's past.
Lunchables.
Yeah, that was. Hey Matt, you might want to talk a little more directly because I'm looking at the waves here.
Oh, I
and,
said.
you know, yeah.
Well,
see,
I
that
wasn't
was-
really talking, but I said the Lunchables.
Oh.
That's the name of the movie, right?
Yeah, that is. Those were fire.
Oh,
Actually, they weren't. I don't know why I said that.
terrible.
They were so like the pizza ones,
Ugh.
so bad. The sauce tastes like Play-Doh.
Weren't they always cold
I'd eat
too?
one.
Yeah, and
It's
your
gross.
parents were just like, "Go."
Yeah, disgusting.
I don't want to take care of you anymore.
You had those?
I've had them in my life.
You'd be sick.
Yeah, they're definitely not good. I was never a huge fan.
I
Give me that-
honestly, I can't recall what they taste like.
Give me that nice homemade
You ever
meal.
eaten clay before?
No.
It
Well,
literally
try it,
though.
Try it sometime. That's what it would
not
taste
like
like.
not kidding. It tastes like clay. All right, enough of my dumb Rambo Lunchables shit. What are we starting off? Matt Brodsky went very hard for this episode. He did a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah, we
He
went
actually
back.
hand drew
Lot of-
these.
Pre-production.
We went back to
Brodsky.
how we used to have it. We don't have a stamp or a shredder, but we got a lot of paper, so we can baby steps back in the direction we used to go in. But we can start it out with the good old stamp or shred segment. I think that's a good one, bringing that back for the first time in the 2019 season.
Everyone loves a good stamp a shred.
Just a refresher of how the game works here. You're basically going to hear us give you a statement. It'll be a controversial statement that's up in the air whether you agree or not. If you agree with the statement, we're going to stamp it as an official correct statement. If not, then you shred it. Again, bear with us, no stamp or shredder, but you get the idea. We'll start in the direction that Richard always likes to go. Some Jets talk here early for the
There
New
we
York
go.
audience. Stamp or shred, Adam Gase deserves the majority of the blame for the Jets' struggles this season. A bearded Adam Gase, so go easy on him. He doesn't look as stupid.
Hey, on that
Go
note,
from there.
he shaved his beard before the season, so it's his fault. So
Oh,
yes,
there we go.
stamp
We're
him.
stamping it for the beard, or
He
the
had
lack
that
thereof.
huge beard in the preseason, looking good, and
Looked
then
like
he
a
shaves
boss.
it before the first game. Well, that's a huge no. Huge
You
no.
wanted him to get the playoff beard going in the preseason.
Yeah, because you need to just have that energy from
Oh.
day one with the Jets. You can't mess around with it.
Everybody looks more official with a beard.
Yeah,
for sure.
except for Alex. He
Well,
missed the memo.
Yeah, Yeah, Alex shaved about an hour ago, so now he's dealing with the hair already growing back.
Yeah. All right, so Gase, there's a...
Yeah, start us off. You stamping or you shredding?
It's rough to being a Jets fan, man, because everywhere I look, there's obviously polar opposites for each argument, and like I'm trying to like get my own opinion myself, and everyone I trust and read is like all over the place, and I'm just like, I don't even know. But I shred that. I don't think you could put all this on Gase right now. I mean, we're gonna get to him later, but Luke Falk is just, he can't be in the NFL, man. And I want to pull up this stat that I saw on Reddit. And look, I think all these stats you see on ESPN and shit, they're a bunch of bullshit most of the time. But apparently the Jets lead the league with the highest rate of open targets. So the guys are getting open. He's calling the right plays.
What? How is that possible?
I don't know. 55.9%. An open target is a pass target when the separation. All right, he's open. You know.
No, let me read. Can you?
Despite
how do
that,
you define it?
An open target
I
is a
wanna know
pass
what that
target
is.
when the separation between the receiver and nearest defender is 3+ yards at pass arrival.
So the Jets have the best receivers in the league?
How
No.
does that make sense?
I don't understand.
Is it
And
because the defender already started celebrating the sack?
Yeah, it could be it. They just give them space because they know that it won't matter.
yeah, I mean, but it also means that the quarterback just isn't making. He's not. It's not even that he's not making the right reads. He's looking and just holding the ball. I don't want to get it too much into Luke Falk. I want to save it for later. But
Get that.
yeah, but yeah, I'm shredding it for that reason. Obviously, there's not much you can do with a terrible O-line and your third. He should be not even on a roster. He should be on a practice squad.
I'm going to agree with you. You know, if I'm being totally honest, which we always are with our fans, most Jet games I've turned them off halfway through the first quarter.
As you should.
Yeah, it's really tough to watch. But from what I've seen, Luke Falk is the worst player I've ever seen play football in the NFL. Like, he looks like a high school quarterback out there. But we won't get too much into that. So I don't think it's fair to judge Gase off one game with starters.
Yeah, against a top 3 defense in the league, looking like right now.
Yeah,
The Bills.
Yeah, they almost beat the Bills, who are looking like they have a good shot at making the playoffs. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you can look at that as promising. Like, at the time, it felt pretty disappointing, but whatever. But you can't blame Gase for this. He has terrible personnel out there.
Yeah, and now, if it continues in weeks 8, 9, 10, then you kick him out.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, we're all on the same page here. We're all going to shred it that it's Gase's fault. But what I will say, to your note, what you mentioned, his room for error now is just out the window. He's going to be expected when Darnold comes back to see an immediate difference, whether it's production-wise or just the look and feel of the offense, which to a certain extent, I'm sure it'll be there with Darnold back under center. But Gase now, he's going to be on a short leash, at least in the fans' eyes, in terms of he's producing or
he's been on a short leash with the fans. Because, I mean, we don't matter in the end, but with the fans, no one even wanted him. It was the whole offseason was anybody but Gase. When we were looking for coaches, it was anybody but Gase. And hey, he had a rough down in Miami too. I mean, he didn't have a good roster, and he made do. He was also the GM though, so those players were his picking, but maybe that's not his calling. Maybe he's just should be a coach. But look, man, I mean, even the O-line played a little better this week, and this man that we're going to tear apart in about 20 minutes, he is the reason for the lack of success. But
well, let's get a nice group shred of this statement then here. Sorry that Gase is pictured, but we got to just shred him.
We got to. Sorry,
This is
Gase.
a good shred for you,
this
Gase.
is for you. You should show your family. You got shredded on the memo for a good reason. Cool.
Right.
Doesn't happen that often.
No.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the second point of the
You're
question.
not free from the scrap though. You still have potential to get scrapped.
Anybody can get scrapped.
Anybody.
Any week.
Yep. So if Darnold doesn't throw for 350, we'll see Gase next week.
Stamper shred section number 2 here. Interesting one. The Rams made a mistake in making Jared Goff the highest paid player in NFL history. Obviously, this offseason, they signed him to this huge multi-year contract, highest per, I think it's per, no, I don't think it's per year. I think it's total value over the contract. Questionable timing, but what do you guys think? You stamping or you shredding? Did Goff deserve that?
You can go first, Alex. I went first before.
I'm going to shred this as well. And I've been pretty critical of the Rams and Goff specifically over the last few weeks. You know, he hasn't had a good start to the season. He's been turning over the ball a lot at a higher rate than pretty much any other quarterback in the NFL. But you know, I'm a big fan of paying players when they're due. And Goff, you know, quarterbacks are so hard to come by. Jared Goff is a very good quarterback. I don't think there's any doubting that. Maybe he's going through a little bit of a slump here, but, you know, good quarterbacks are very rare in the league. You got to lock them up when you can. Maybe the timing of it was a little bit questionable, but I'm always a fan of organizations like paying it back to their players, the players that, you know, bring the fans out there on a weekly basis and are bringing you to Super Bowls. And it looks like he has a great rapport with Sean McVay, who pretty much everyone agrees is a like young guru coach in the making. So I'm fine with them giving him this contract. It's huge, and the value of quarterbacks is always just going up. So it's no surprise that Jared Goff got one of the biggest deals in NFL history. I think you got to lock him up while you can, because then you don't want a situation with like Cousins, even though Cousins leaving the Redskins might have ended up being okay for them, but you don't want a situation where you just can't lock him down. It gets too late.
I mean, look, like you said, obviously great on Jared Goff being able to secure that money. It's good to see him get paid. I'm all for that. But I think you also have to be financially responsible as a GM and as a team. You know, you're working under a salary cap. There's only so much money to go around. I'm happy that he got the money. Do I think that he deserved to be paid like that? Ultimately, no, I don't. I'm going to stamp this statement. I'm going to say that Jared Goff, it is a mistake to pay him the most out of any quarterback in the league, the most out of any player in NFL history. Ultimately, because listen, ever since, you know, the playoffs last year and obviously in the Super Bowl, there's been a lot of talk about Goff being a system quarterback and working well under Sean McVay. And he's always been prone to, you know, the bad fumble or a turnover at a wrong moment, an interception. He's obviously had his great moments as well. The timing of it, and you mentioned it, that's what's so curious to me, and that's why I'm going to have to stamp the statement, because you take a look at the situation with Dak Prescott. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, were they drafted in the same year?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure
this is both their fourth years, right? Or
we can fact check.
Somebody check on that. I'm going to go, I think if they were drafted in the same year, obviously Goff, you know, as
I don't have internet.
Oh, yeah, not connected to the Wi-Fi. Obviously, Jared Goff was the way more highly touted prospect, had the expectation they're the same year. Okay. And what the Cowboys are doing with Dak, you know, because like, what was the need to sign Goff right then? Was he holding out? Was he not going to play this season? It was never. He's not going to.
2 years
cause a
left
problem.
in his deal.
He wasn't going to cause an issue. Same thing with Dak. Like, they're making Dak go out and basically earn the money that they're going to pay him, and he's going to be paid handsomely because he's playing very well. But at the same time, they're a team that's competing for the Super Bowl right now, this year, next year. Who knows how long a Super Bowl window is open? Yeah, if you have a quarterback like Goff for the long run, it obviously extends your window. But I just felt like it was just unnecessary to do at the time. You reward him for going to the Super Bowl. Great for Jared Goff. I just think that it's going to come back to bite them, you know, because we don't really know what Goff is right now.
Yeah,
ultimately.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me because there was 2 years left on his deal. He's in his third year, and I believe the rookie contracts are 4 years with a fifth-year option. And obviously,
he's in his fourth year, no?
He's in his fourth year now.
Oh, okay.
But when he was just
right.
so he still had this year, and then he would have had next year too.
Okay.
So that's another year. Maybe you could save some cap and get some
Yeah.
other. But maybe also on the other side, then maybe you don't have the money for what he wants. And I think it's also tricky, the question, because anytime a quarterback is a free agent, they just become the highest paid in NFL history. So
see, but that's the thing. I don't know. You think Dak is going to break that record?
No,
I don't think so.
I think they're
They're playing it right.
Yeah, it seems. I feel like Jerry Jones is definitely playing that one right. I feel like he's going to get a solid deal for Dak, and I think I don't think it was true that he was asking for $40 million or whatever. If that's true, then he's way in over his head because he's not on that level.
Shoot for the stars.
Good.
But it's not
They did really well building up their O-line and their team around Dak to help him succeed. But if you're putting all your money into Dak and lose all that surrounding talent, then that wouldn't be good for them. But we're not talking about Dak. We're talking about Jared Goff. I'm gonna have to shred it just because I feel like there's really no choice in that situation. You got to lock up Goff, and if he's asking for a deal, you don't want there to be any controversy anyway. And obviously, him and McVay are going to be around together for a long time. I know he's going through a slump right now, but they'll figure it out. Gurley's not the same. They got to figure something out with that. Maybe change up the offense a little bit, find another way to succeed. But I think it's just Super Bowl hangover, man. You see it everywhere except for New England.
Yeah. But so that's kind of the thing. Like, everybody was obviously super skeptical after the Super Bowl about what Goff really is with having McVay there, having all these weapons around him. And it just seemed like to me, and I love Jared Goff. I've always been a supporter of Jared Goff. I just felt like coming into this year, this should have been the year where they're like, all right, we're going to take a really good look at you, figure out really who you are. And then, obviously they probably were going to pay him this down the line anyway. But my thing is with just the timing of it. I don't know. It seemed like they could have waited on it.
All right. So you stamping it?
I'll stamp it.
You got to get that stamp. It's lonely in the office.
It's been there for a while.
Shred it. You're off the hook for now, Goff.
Not my hook. You're right on my hook.
Yeah,
I feel bad doing that to Jared.
I know I'm a big Goff guy. So
I'm a good Goff. I like Goff a lot. He's on my fantasy team. But the guy's had like 930 yards the past 2 games, like 6 turnovers.
Yeah, so he's got to figure that out.
Got to dial that back a little bit.
I think it just happens sometimes. I don't see him really falling off that hard. If he plays like he did last year, more years like that, then he's totally worth it. That's one of the top QBs in the league. But this year,
some of the best quarterbacks ever have been prone to the turnover.
If you think about it this way, he's 4 or 5 games into his new deal. Not enough of a sample size yet.
You were the one that said, but the Belichick gave out the blueprint of how to beat the Rams offense.
He's got to adapt.
Yeah,
all the best players in the NFL have to do it. All of them get figured out at some point.
Adapt first. That'll make you the highest paid.
Yeah. I mean,
some teams like the Rams
they believe he can do it.
who have been terrible for so long, sometimes you just got to.
Yeah.
I guess I see that. I see that point too.
All right. We have a
on
third one,
to
right?
the soon-to-be highest-paid quarterback in NFL history. Our final stamp shred of the night will go the Jacksonville Jaguars should start Gardner Minshew for the rest of the season, even when Nick Foles returns from his injury.
I stamped that. What was Nick Foles' timeline? Like week 8, week 9, they were saying?
Somewhere around there.
He's like several weeks in a row now. It's not just a fluke here and there. Like he's playing well every week. And it's not like just like a baseline of solid. Like he's hitting highs and then like his lows are just solid, He's not really playing terrible yet. He'll have those games, I'm sure, but he's a young quarterback. He's more important to the future of the Jaguars than Foles will be, and you can use Foles as a trade chip if you want. And he's a good veteran to have behind a guy like that. And I just think, if you're, it's a momentum game. If he's playing like that and the team's rolling with it, you got to roll with him. And he just like has a swagger and an energy that Foles doesn't have. A nice escapability. I like that. Foles is anytime he's out of Philly, he just has bad luck. I feel bad, but bad luck, man.
Yeah.
He gets hurt or you just can't do it.
So you're gonna stamp it?
Yeah, I think he should. I think he's earned it. He's a late round pick. He looks really good, and I just think for the team, if you bring Nick Foles back in and then you have a dud, it probably sinks your season. And then what are you gonna go back to Minshew? And it's too late. You just got to roll with.
Do you think the Jaguars can move that Foles deal?
That's what I was gonna say. That's tough.
There might be someone desperate out there. But
and then it's going to be another situation like the Jaguars are having now where it's like Foles is your starting quarterback. You're probably paying him way too much, and you're going to look for some other option while paying Foles all this money. I don't know. I think
their other option would be Minshew.
I'm talking about if they trade Minshew. It's going to be like
you mean if they trade Foles?
If they trade Foles. I feel like whoever willingly takes on Foles'
the
huge
other
contract
team that takes
always ends up in this situation where like Foles is not that good. They're paying him a lot of money, and it handcuffs your team.
What if you trade Minshew?
I think that would be a terrible idea.
I mean, look, you signed Foles thinking that he was going to be your guy for 3-4 years. He played a half of football. Minshew can be traded, but in a second with the contract that he's making, and you could probably get as much as you can get. Like,
all right, I know, and
he's peaking right now. What if he falls flat on his face?
I don't think Foles is that great. I think, and everyone says, Super Bowl winning quarterback. He has way more of a sample size of him being bad than good.
For sure.
Right. So, but to counter that point, there's no way the Jaguars think that.
Yeah,
they just signed him.
It just, I mean, this is a lot. How many weeks has it been? Four or five for Minshew. He came in week 1, right?
Yeah.
So five weeks so far, and he's playing well in pretty much every game.
Well.
So it's hard. I mean, you can say, what if he falls off? But if he doesn't.
But what if you just capitalize on it right now, get like a first or second round pick, pretend it never happened, and then you just have Foles, who you intended to have the whole time?
Well, they wouldn't. I don't think they would do that, first of all, because if they're gonna start Foles, they're just gonna see if Foles is good. Because if Foles is not good this year, say they bring him back, he starts and he's a dud, then you have Minshew, and it's more important to have a good quarterback than to try and get a first round pick and run with the guy you paid. Remember the Seahawks with Russell Wilson? They signed Matt Flynn to a pretty big deal because he threw 6 touchdowns in like the one game he ever played.
Week 17.
And then Russell Wilson in the preseason, he throws like 2 touchdowns in the first game, 3 in the second, and then they were like, all right, we got to try him out with the starters in the third game. He tears it up, and now he's a Super Bowl winning, probably Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So you're gonna stamp it?
Yeah. This is a really tough one.
Yeah.
Because it makes more sense to go with Minshew. If he's your quarterback of the future, you go with him. He's obviously cheaper than Foles. I'd like to see what Foles' contract is structured like. Because if they can get rid of him after like a year or year 2, like cut him and just eat the dead cap, then like maybe that's the move.
If they traded Minshew, I think the stadium would be burned down.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm not kidding.
I don't think that's even on the table.
What I think, I guess, I don't know if I'm going to stand for sure. I think it kind of depends on where they are in the season. Because like you said, or somebody said, you want to know what you have in Foles before you make that decision. If they're out of it by week 10, 11, whatever, maybe give Foles the rest of the year so that when it's in the offseason, you can really assess the two of them and decide who you want to go with.
It's a really interesting situation. I feel like there's never been a situation like this. Pardon my yawn.
Yeah, Jesus, dude. Do you need an Adderall?
No. But, Minshew has really taken over. Minshew's really taken over. Like, he's taken the league by storm. And he's 100% the face of the franchise over there. I don't know. I think this is like this. We should table this one. For now, I'll stamp it. If Minshew keeps playing the way he does, and the Jaguars keep winning games, and that we all have said that division is wide open, keeps winning games, keeps them in games. I know they lost this last week, but they were in it down to the wire. If he keeps up these performances, then I don't think you can bench him.
I agree.
You'd look crazy.
It would just
I guess they really have no choice.
For a team that's been so starved for
go.
QB success, they finally get some.
Look, they got rid of the face of the franchise once. I could see them doing it again.
He was what Bortles needed to be. He has the same attitude that, frat boy, cool guy attitude, but just none of the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm stamping it.
It'll be interesting. Gardner seems like a cool story. I like everything he's doing over there. I'll stamp it too.
Stamp.
Fuck, Nick Foles, you can only do so much with Nick Foles, like win a Super Bowl. Yeah. But anyway, we'll go with let Gardner Minshew start the rest of the way.
All right, so we're moving on here to our unanimously praised segment. Everyone loves the scrap heap, and we don't pull it out often until football season because,
not something to take lightly.
Yeah, you can't just be throwing scraps everywhere because then it loses its meaning and its importance. So, we talked about this man before, You probably shouldn't know his name, but we all do at this point. His name is Luke Falk, and he was the practice squad quarterback for the New York Jets about a month ago. And then he got thrust into the starting role week 2 against the Cleveland Browns after Trevor Siemian broke his ankle, who was starting because Sam Darnold got mono. And look, man, I feel like I'm bullying the physically incapable and the ill when I say this, but he might be the worse than Nathan Peterman, honestly. At least Nathan Peterman threw for like some yards here and there. May have thrown a lot of picks. At least he threw the ball. You know, I would rather Luke Falk go out there and throw 5 picks because at least you're trying. You know, he stares at open receivers. He can't read a defense. He doesn't adjust the offensive line for blitzes. He has no idea what he's doing. He throws to Le'Veon Bell every single play. He was last game against the Eagles. He's looking at a wide receiver screen wide open. The blocks are set up so well. There's no one in the area. Turns the complete opposite way and throws it to Bell. I was just like, what are you doing? There's other players on the
Bell
field.
definitely got cracked on that play.
Yeah, and it's
Guy's
just
been
anytime he actually does attempt to throw the ball more than 5 yards, it just arcs 30 feet in the sky. Like there's no shot that the defense is letting that be a catch. It's just he's bad, man, and a little scrap to the Jets front office too for not finding someone better after seeing this guy play for 2 weeks and just having no idea what football is. Like, how did he get into the league? I don't know. There's nothing like we talk about the tangible stuff. He's got no arm. I don't even think he's like 6'4", but he's a skinny noodle. He's not athletic. He can't read defenses. He's not a leader. It doesn't seem like there's nothing. So why is he in the league? Why is he on the team?
He went to the same college as Gardner Minshew.
Yes, I knew that. But and he was drafted in the same slot as Tom Brady. Oh my God.
Could have been our segue.
Oh yeah, fucked it up.
Yeah. So look, man, I'm sorry, Luke Falk. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm sure you're aware.
You're being very mean.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's ease up on this guy. 2 minutes ago, he was on the practice squad, like you said. Never thought he'd end up in the scrap heap.
I'm sure it's nothing you don't know. You suck. That's it. Yeah, that's it. You don't want to be out there. You know. You just want to be in the practice squad and just get ragged in practice. That's it.
It's probably the best job in the world.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like going out there knowing that you just have to know that you're not good.
Yeah.
And like shit's gonna go bad. You must just be nervous 24/7.
Like, everyone's gonna absolutely destroy me on
Or does he
social
go
media.
out there thinking, just all right, this is the game, 350, get a couple touchdowns on the board.
Let's go, yo! I got it in
Make
me.
a name for
And
myself.
you know when he was drafted, he was like, same pick as Brady.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been done
Same
before.
pick as Brady.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Crumple that motherfucker up.
You're no good, man. I'm sorry, and I'm happy for you that you get to move back to not even. I hope you're not on the bench. I hope you go back to the. I hope you're off any roster of ours. Not even the practice squad. Your time is up.
Poor guy.
Poor
Luke
Luke
Falk, you're scrapped.
If Nate Peterman can
Good
get
riddance.
a job again,
Yeah.
Is he on a team?
he's on the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
Hard Knocks. John Gruden couldn't get enough of Nate. Where's Peterman, man? That's all he was saying.
All right, on the topic of terrible quarterbacks,
Oh.
that's my segue. I have this guy here, Baker Mayfield. I feel like I'm kind of late to the party here, but these guys know that I've been...
You started the party.
I started the party. That's right. I sent out the invitations. Rex Ryan came along. Some other quarterbacks.
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd. But yeah, this past Monday, he got tossed around like a rag doll for 3 quarters because he got benched towards the end.
They took him out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the game was out of reach, and they were probably scared for his life. Completed 8 passes, threw for 100 yards after talking a big game because he went into Baltimore and, played pretty well. But, big Monday night game. It's this is supposed to be where he shines, Heisman Trophy winner, big flashy guy. in all these commercials, talks a lot of shit. If you're not wearing brown and orange, you don't matter. Acts like a big tough guy. Seems like he has a big chip on his shoulder, and it's kind of for no reason. He hasn't really accomplished anything in this league, aside from beating up on worse teams than yours. Baker, you really need to reevaluate what you're doing here and who you want to be in this league. You got all the talent in the world. You know, I understand the offensive line is bad. I understand maybe Freddie Kitchens isn't calling the best plays, but they hired him because of you, because you wanted him as the head coach. He was your hand-picked head coach.
Yep.
And now he's getting exposed. The offensive line is bad, but, you know, that's not a story that you don't hear around the league. Deshaun Watson gets sacked at a record pace, and he's putting up 53 points against teams, still putting up crazy numbers, still looking way better than you do. So, you know, I don't have a problem with quarterbacks struggling, but when you have the attitude to back it up, it's just like you come across as an asshole, and that's what you are. You're an asshole. When you act like that, when you act like a spoiled rich kid from Texas, which is what you are, and then go out on Monday night national television in any big game, you get embarrassed, you look like an asshole. So, Baker Mayfield, you're an asshole. That's what I have to say about that.
How you really feel. Well, I've been a Baker supporter, and I've been trying to always give him the benefit of the doubt. I like guys with an attitude every now and then. But after last night's performance, man, you can't defend that. That was really bad.
Yeah, and now he's got a big target on his back for no reason.
Yeah.
Because he acted like that.
It's stupid. Just
like
put your head down
you
and
see
work.
Nick Bosa literally like he looked like a man possessed, and it's because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gave him that motivation to like chew your head off, and he did that.
And even if he was wrong and he could be scrapped on his own with this whole fiasco, Mr. Richard Sherman talking about the handshakes. I don't know what happened. He did or didn't shake. But, you know, it just, when you do stuff like that, a guy like him who's been in the league so long, he gets pissed off. He's coming for your head, and he picks you off 2 minutes into the game. Like, come on, man. You're messing with the real guys. This isn't Wisconsin, whoever they played, and he grabbed his crotch, whatever that was. Kansas. This isn't Kansas.
Worst football school
Yeah,
in the country.
this is the NFL where everyone is 100 times better than anyone on Kansas. So you got to step up.
I hope he cleans up his act a little bit.
Yeah,
Sure, can be good, but you know we got to see more from him at this point, more maturity. But that was a fiery scrap heap. I got to give you that. I liked it.
I liked
it a lot. It's really hit the essence of what a scrap heap.
I'm
should
surprised.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I like the guy. I don't. Like I genuinely like from all I know. I don't know him personally, obviously, but everything I get from him just makes him seem like a douchebag who I wouldn't want to hang out with.
He deserves more of a scrap than our previous quarterback, Luke Falk, because no one thinks Luke Falk is good, but Baker Mayfield should be playing well and almost beat out one of the best running back prospects of our time for Rookie of the Year. So, got to step up, man. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that leaves it to me, I guess. Speaking of a guy who needs to step up, and honestly, I hope he doesn't step up anymore since I rated him for my fantasy team. So this is going to be a little bit of a personal scrap heap. I don't know if everybody feels the same way as I do. Mr. Mike Evans, and your dumb, stupid face here. I'm going to scrap you for this roller coaster of a fantasy football season you've put me on for 5 weeks. First week, guy gets 3 catches, 30 yards. Then he goes for 60 yards. He's a super disappointment through the first 2 games of the season. Spent a second-round pick on him. But then he goes for 50 points. 50 points. I'm okay. This is Mike Evans. This is who I picked. This is what he does. He's Mike Evans. Then he goes right back to a shitty game, gets bailed out by a big touchdown. And then he gets 0 points in a full game. He doesn't catch a single pass. This guy vanishes on the field for quarters at a time. If he doesn't catch a 50-yard pass, then he does nothing. He's never been a guy, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he's not a big lot of receptions guy.
No, he's just
a big play.
Body.
Yeah.
And
he's a big play waiting to happen. He supposedly has great hands.
yeah.
But I don't know what the issue with him is. He can't find consistency, and he's never been a consistent top receiver in the league. People will be down on him for super long, and then he'll have a game like he had against the Giants where he goes for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then everybody falls in love with him again. Well, I'm off that roller coaster ride. I traded Mike Evans today for Zach Ertz and Juju Smith-Schuster. Questionable, maybe, but necessary for the locker room of my team and just the whole positive energy. Everybody in there, rid of this guy who you can't trust him at all, and I'm just done with him.
And I don't want to step on the scrap, but I will say it comes with an inconsistent starting quarterback, too, when you're talking inconsistency with a number 1 receiver.
I'm seeing Godwin put up hundreds of yards and
Somebody's
multiple touchdowns every week.
Does he do the same? Did he do the same thing when Evans had 50?
Yeah,
Yes.
he had that. That's when they scored. Oh no, wait, no, that was when
He had a little bit of a quiet game, but he played his part.
Yeah.
I think Evans has trouble getting open.
Everybody in that offense is clicking.
I don't think Evans ever needed to get that open because he's huge, like 6'6".
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Jameis is not the most accurate quarterback in the world, but
I still like Evans. I still think he's one of the top. He maybe not number 1 tier receiver, but if he's your best receiver on a team, that's better than like 20 other teams in the league.
No, I'm not saying he's garbage. He's a top receiver. I don't think he's.
You just hate to see the inconsistency.
Yeah, just put him together on a week-to-week basis. If you can go out and score 0 points in a game, 0 fantasy points. If you can go out and not make a catch the entire game, that's not a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
Catch a ball.
You're gonna get shut down by Marshawn Lattimore and the Saints, who had a great rookie year. He's been terrible this season. He's not the same player that he was. I guess he stepped up. Good for him. But Evans, you got to.
He's been playing well the last 2 weeks.
Feasting on that, man. Do something.
He also played really well against Amari Cooper. But yeah, I completely agree. Evans came into this season as everybody looked at him as an elite wide receiver.
And I won my fantasy matchup in spite of you jackass.
Yeah. So is that all for the scraps of the day?
I think we got the first scrap heap of the season under our belts. Right, felt good, didn't it?
Yeah, it felt great.
Before we move on here, we've been trying to get more people to send in questions and stuff. We put stuff on our story. We created a new email, thememoquestions@gmail.com. We didn't get that many this week because we created it like a few days before the SOD. We did get 2. I just we can answer them pretty quickly. They weren't like anything crazy. Got one from Anthony Esposito, big supporter of the show. Always talks to me about it. Always sends in questions when we do them.
Shout out.
And he said, we're not going to go through every game. We already talked about this team, but he said prediction for the rest of the Jets season. Quickly off the top of my head, I'll say with Darnold and Herndon back and an easy schedule coming up, I expect to see way better offense in the past few weeks. The O-line looked a little improved this week. Maybe throw a guy here and there, bring Osemele back in because he was banged up, take Winters out. And, with Darnold's ability to escape, maybe we're looking at very positive here, 6 wins maybe. Maybe. That's positive.
It wouldn't surprise me if they got there, Now that they've started 0-4, are they 0-4 or
Yes.
0-5? 0-4, the pressure's off. There's no chance at them making the playoffs. I wouldn't say the pressure's completely off. People really want to see Gase perform a little better. They want to see Darnold kind of hit the ground running here. A lot of other rookie quarterbacks are playing well, as you mentioned in previous shows. But the pressure is way less now, I would say. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of these teams take the Jets really lightly. And with all these players coming back from injury, Herndon coming back from suspension, the defense isn't playing too bad. They might surprise some teams. Like I'm expecting them to at least play 3 quarters of competitive football against the Cowboys, who did not look that good this past week.
They were kind of in it with the Saints, but they still didn't look great.
So I'm expecting them to get to 5 wins. Right. I want to see them win 5 of these last 12 games.
Okay.
That's my expectation for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You agree?
I think I'll take around somewhere between 4 and 6.
And then If you have more, I just assumed you didn't have much to say about the Jets.
Yeah, you guys answered the question. We don't all have to touch on
we
it.
got one more.
Yeah,
Do you know this person, Grayson, Dirty G?
Dirty
Grayson,
G, yes.
Yeah,
Grayson.
he said
Worst Dirty G.
worst draft pick in the past 15 years.
The worst?
Yeah, in the NFL. Who's the worst draft pick in the past 15 years?
Besides Baker and Luke Falk?
I believe it was NFL. Yeah, well, you posted
Last
a picture
15 years?
of the NFL. So, yeah, it's at that's a long way back. I'm gonna go with
I feel like the default answer is Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
He was within 15.
you could go with Vernon Gholston there. Stick with the Jets here. All the misery we have might as well pile on.
Look, there's a lot. Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder, RG3,
Polite.
Ja'Kai Polite.
Didn't even
RG3, I wouldn't.
Week 1.
That was sort of like a tragedy. They just fucked him up, man. His knee, they put him back in.
And ruining careers.
Yeah, I'm not happy for Dwayne Haskins. I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm not really a Dwayne Haskins fan.
Jerry
but I just feel
Tillery.
Bad. Jerry Tillery. Yeah,
Terrible
there's really a lot. But maybe what about the past 5 years, just to shorten it up?
Yeah.
Can you think of one?
I'm taking a look at the number 1 overall picks here.
If we're gonna go NBA, Anthony Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is in any league.
It's gotta be.
It was Matt put up a picture of Aaron Donald sacking Brady, so I assumed it was about the NFL.
Yeah.
The question asked.
It's a pretty erotic photo for me there. Definitely got the juices flowing.
All right, so those were the two questions.
It's got to be Jamarcus Russell, though. You're right.
Yeah.
2007, just sucked all around. Tried to make a comeback a couple of years back. Richard and I were all aboard that hype train.
Yeah.
He sucked again.
He more than sucked. He was like a spectacle of suck.
Yeah, no, it was impressive.
His off the field issues were insane. Supposedly he was getting fucked up all the time.
Johnny Manziel.
He looks like he's the last
sniped that
really
one
bad.
Really,
if we're talking about, you were talking about number 1 picks here. He looks like he's the last really bad number 1. Bradford was bad, but he put together some solid seasons.
He's also made $500 million in his career.
Baker, and then you got Garrett, who's really fucking good. No, I'm going down the list of the picks. Goff is obviously good. Winston is not anywhere near Russell. Clowney. Eric Fisher's pretty solid. Luck.
Fisher was a disappointment, but that year's
Luck.
Yeah, honestly, just in terms of fucking over the fan base and breaking their hearts.
All right, so those are our
I'll go
2 questions.
Jamarcus Russell will say that.
All right,
cool.
Are we on to the picks?
Yeah, we'll go on to the picks. I've been checking out different colored hair dyes over in CVS the past couple weeks. Not looking too good for me. I went 1-2 last week.
1-2 as well.
1-2.
3-0. My second undefeated week of the season.
So what does that put us? Do we know off the top of our head?
All right, so I was 6-4, so now I'm 9-4. You were also 6-4, weren't you?
I thought it was 6-3, and then.
Yeah, how'd you get 10 games under there?
Oh, 6-3 then. Sorry, 6-3.
So 9-3.
9-3.
So I'm 7-5.
And you're?
Was I 4-5? I think. I'm 5-7 now.
Yeah.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm only 1 game back, 2 games back.
I got a comfortable lead here.
2. Oh, right.
Oh yeah, from our last
It's
place.
just.
And we're looking at another 3-0 performance, so you guys might want to.
Let's find out. Let's jump
stay
into it. We're gonna do 4 games this week.
Are we?
Because we skipped week 2.
Okay.
Or 3.
Oh, we did.
We skipped one
skipped
week.
A week.
So whenever we're figuring out, we have 3 weeks to do this. When there's a bunch of close matchups we can't decide, we'll throw in a wild card 4th game just to make up for that.
Yeah.
So this will be the first week that we do that, and we'll start us off with what's become a really interesting looking matchup now in the NFC West. You have the San Francisco 49ers, undefeated Niners, going to LA to face the Rams, coming off 2 losses. Take us away, guys.
I'm going Rams here this week. I've been a big 49er supporter, especially last night. We were having a little discussion about whether the Browns have proved much more up to this point compared to the 49ers, and we got our answer there, really, with the 49ers
you know I
really
was right.
trouncing. All right, they had the nice
win
win
today. That I was wrong when I said that at the time. It was the correct statement.
Yeah, it was.
They
They beat the
resume.
Ravens, who were struggling.
Take the L.
Yeah, all right.
That's
I'm
not an
not.
L.
I'm not saying it's an L. I'm just saying we discussed.
Overall L.
Yeah,
Coming for my neck this morning, this guy.
I know. I wake up and I'm just ready to go. That's it.
I know.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams. The 49ers are not going undefeated, and the Rams are on a they're on a little slump here. I think they'll find their groove. They need a win. They need to get back in it, and especially with undefeated team in your division, you got to get this win. I think they're going to be prepared, and I still think the Rams are better than the 49ers in the end, even with the records right now. So I'm going Rams.
I am going to go with the 49ers. I didn't stamp that statement before about Goff. I still like what the Rams are doing overall, but haven't looked so good to start the season. The 49ers defense looks scary.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Getting to the quarterback, that pass rush is really good. The secondary even played pretty well this past. I mean, it's hard for a secondary to play bad when the quarterback has 2 seconds to throw less. And what surprised me most about this game on Monday night was the offense. The offense looked pretty good. Like the play calling is really interesting. Their weapons are, it's a lot of different faces in there. They don't have a go-to guy really, but Breida looked good on Monday. They kind of get everybody involved. Like Jimmy G does a good job of spreading the ball out to all these different weapons that they have. I'll take the 49ers. They seem very motivated. They seem like they have a chip on their shoulder, which a lot of times I'll criticize people for, but it like this is one of those situations where I think they have a chip on their shoulder, and it's like it suits them, because a lot of people did doubt this team coming into the season, and a lot of people look like it seems like they still do. I've seen a lot of analysts say it's a long season, we'll see, and all that is true, but I think they'll win this game.
I like them still.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I just, division game, I see the Rams coming on top.
Playoff spots are tough to come by in the NFC, for sure. Listen, I've been learning a lot about the Niners this year, now living in an apartment with 2 kids from the Bay Area. Shout out to Drew and the live audience over there. I think I pegged the Niners wrong, coming into the season. Sherman won't be happy with me about that, since he told me to keep hating if I started hating. But
Yeah.
I think that they're a legitimate team. Like you said, that defense is a good unit. They have a lot of moving parts. That the front seven with Bosa and Buckner is terrifying. I really like what they're doing over there. I think they're trending in the right direction. That being said, I'm going to be taking the Rams, because I think that they're a desperate football team right now, losing 2 games in a row to good teams. They lost to the Seahawks, and who'd they lose to? The Bucs.
The Bucs.
Okay, so they two losses in general. A third loss in a row would put them at 500. I think they're just better than that. They're going to be desperate to win this game, and I expect to see a lot out of the Rams. It's going to come down to if the line can hold them up, and if Gurley can get anything going. But I like the Los Angeles Rams here to bounce back.
Yeah, if Goff turns the ball over at the rate that he has been, they're gonna lose this game.
And
he's got to
even
hold on to that ball.
Yeah.
If he's gonna take a sack, he's got to just clamp down on that ball and not fumble it.
Yeah. And I think the Niners will be fine. If you lose this game, going into LA, having to play the reigning NFC champions, it wouldn't be a bad loss by any means.
I like Shanahan a lot.
I'm excited for this game.
Everyone always talks about Sean McVay as the young guru offensive guy. I think Shanahan's right up there with him, and he was even before him. He's been having great offenses since RG3. He was the reason for that. He was the OC when the OC there too.
Pretty sure, yeah.
And he's always had great offenses wherever he's gone, and they were bad last year because Garoppolo got hurt in week 2. Sorry about that. I don't think now he's getting more respect, but I think people kind of forgot about him in terms of the offensive minds of the league.
It's fair.
They're fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah,
the 49ers.
they like do a lot under center too. It's
Yeah.
pretty weird compared to the rest of the
They
the
run
league. There's a lot of
uh,
shotgun going around, but they run. It's like, and with their uniforms, it just makes it look like nice football offense.
They do have some of the nicest uniforms
Yeah.
in the league for sure. All right, so 2 Rams, 1 Niners. Moving right along here, we'll go to the next game. The Houston Texans going into Kansas City to play the Chiefs. I actually think this is going to be a good game too. But I'll start. I think, obviously, the Chiefs did not look too great Sunday night. They were held to, was it 10 points?
10,
It was
yeah.
13 to
13.
10?
13.
19 to
No,
10, I thought it was.
13.
19
Oh,
13.
19-13,
Okay.
yes.
Just kicked the field goal at the end.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the Colts, we talk a lot about, figuring out the blueprint on how to beat these super looking teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts ran an absolute perfect game plan against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
There was one point in the early fourth quarter when they showed a stat on the TV that the Colts had the ball for 17 minutes in the quarter and the Chiefs had the ball for 4.
In the half, you mean?
In the second half. Patrick Mahomes can't beat you if he doesn't get on the field. I mean, it's way easier said than done, of course, to be able to run an offense that can sustain the long drives.
It's a tough game plan to execute.
For sure, but I mean, if you're able to keep him off the field with, I think a guy like Deshaun Watson can do that, make plays happen and extend drives, get first downs. It's going to be a good game. I don't know the situation with Mahomes' ankle. He didn't look 100% going into that game throughout the course of that game last week. It's in Kansas City though. I'm still trying to figure out who I'm picking right now. If you guys haven't noticed. Fuck it. I'll take the Texans. I really like what I saw from Watson last week. The Chiefs defense sucks.
I don't think it'll be like what it was this week with the Colts because I can't see the Texans really executing that game plan.
They can't
because
run it
they're
nearly
like
as
the
well.
Chiefs, they're big play, they're scoring quick. You want to keep Watson off the field. Honestly, it's like the same with Mahomes, but
You don't want to keep Brissett off the field?
I like Brissett. I think he's good for them, and I think they did well not letting it. They obviously probably knew something was up with Luck the whole time because keeping Brissett around. But that dude, that was crazy. Watching it, you just knew they were running the ball and just chipping away yards. There was just no chance they were stopping them. But I'm gonna go with the Texans because of Mahomes' ankle. Really looked like it was bothering him a lot, and I think it was his back foot, right?
Yeah.
That's your plant foot in the back there. That's no good.
And if he can't, scramble and extend plays.
Exactly. He can't look back at the ref when he's running because of his ankle, then how are we gonna talk about Mahomes then? All right. Look. He's amazing. I like him. I have no problem with Mahomes. But every single thing is just talking about Mahomes. And when they're losing and getting
the Sunday night broadcast was brutal, man.
And they'll say, I know we always talk about Mahomes, but look at this. And I'm like, what? What am I looking at? He's sitting? I don't care. Come on. There's so many other great players in the league besides Mahomes. And he's looked like shit, so stop talking about him.
I agree with that. It's annoying.
And then a commercial comes on, right? They're talking about Mahomes, and then the next commercial is Patrick Mahomes.
With the Aaron Rodgers commercial?
I don't know. It was
State Farm?
No, it was like just focusing on him, and he was in his pads and shit. I don't know, but I don't have a problem with him, but it's just it's with all these athletes. LeBron too. They hop on everyone.
It's overkill.
Yeah, they'll turn on him eventually.
I feel like he might be like the Giannis of the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like I'd say he's probably has. It's not relevant at all to this conversation, but like he's kind of like the young, like exciting new face of the league in every commercial guy.
Yeah. Baker's got to cut out his TV deals.
Time for Baker.
Maybe get the film on your TV instead of.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a shootout. Like you said, I don't think the Texans can execute the same game plan that the Colts did because they don't really have much of a running game. Give me the Chiefs.
I'm changing my pick.
Yeah?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Wow.
I can't see. His Mahomes gonna fucking come out.
And also
350.
Never seen a flip flop that fast.
I just I'm thinking about it. I just can't see him not playing well 2 weeks in a row. So he
he hasn't played well the
play well
last
against the
two
Lions.
weeks. He has 1 touchdown in his last 2
yes.
games.
Well, he's due
Wow.
for 5, so.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, but the Chiefs and Mahomes has also, the Lions might have set the blueprint. Like everyone says with these high-powered offense, like find the blueprint.
Didn't that go to overtime or no?
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
I think it was a 1-score game.
It was 27-24 or something.
It was a great game.
Pretty.
But he didn't throw a touchdown.
No,
threw
he
one,
didn't.
I thought, against the.
He threw
Lions.
1 against the Colts.
Oh, and none against the Lions.
None against the Lions.
They were moving the ball though.
Yeah, I mean that was the game that he showed, this team has a good game plan against me, but I'm still gonna get this win.
Yeah, he took him on a game-winning drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll be a shootout. Both teams have no running game. Like both teams don't really have much of a running defense. This is just gonna be like through the air.
Looked really good on the Chiefs. Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah,
he had really well.
Yeah,
he had a sick tackle late in the game.
Tackle when he dropped him for like a loss of 8.
Yeah, there was that was a dumb play. I thought. Stop when you're running it up the gut like that and like just churning away yards. Why pitch it back 5 yards?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but I've seen him get a couple interceptions. He's been all over the field. He's really good.
Yeah.
Big pickup for them. But the defense as a whole is not impressive.
No.
All right, so we got 1 Texans, 2 Chiefs. Going out on a limb there, but I don't know. I just feel like the Chiefs look vulnerable on Sunday night.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I just something in my head. I was like, "Come on."
The next game, we're gonna go over to Minnesota here. Alex has been talking a big game about this one. He's very excited for this game. It's gonna be
the NFL boring matchup of the week.
Always got to touch on the boring. We got the Eagles going to Minnesota against the Vikings. Say what you will about these teams, they're not the most exciting to watch. It's going to have big playoff implications in the NFC.
It's not. They aren't exciting to watch so far. It's just annoying because they should be exciting teams.
The Eagles
and the Vikings. They got
you're right.
Thielen, Diggs, Cousins. He's never been like this bad. Like he's always been a gunslinger. He could throw the ball. So it's weird that
they're always in good games.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something. I don't know. The Eagles, like, they didn't look that great. The offense only scored 17 against the Jets. The defense did the rest because idiot that we talked about before. I don't know. I feel like you just after Wentz's first year, you just expect like a very high-powered gunslinging offense, and it's just kind of boring.
Yeah,
to watch.
Fair.
Yeah,
I think you're right about the Vikings because they have a lot of big names over there. Like last year the offense was high-powered and it was very exciting.
I think Zimmer might be. He's a good coach, but I feel like he's got that defense. Let the defense win the game.
He's like a 90s coach.
Yeah, and
he's like Jeff Fisher.
When you invest all, maybe he didn't want to. I don't know if they have a GM. Is he the GM?
No, they have a GM.
Yeah, maybe he didn't want Kirk Cousins. Maybe he didn't want all this money in a quarterback.
They made Kirk Cousins the GM.
Yeah, but when you got those weapons, Cook, Thielen, Diggs, and you got Cousins back there, you gotta.
They all had a great game on Sunday.
Yeah, good.
They looked good against the Giants. Bad defense
against the Giants.
Yeah, but the talent is there. I think they're just all trying to get themselves on the same page, taking a lot of outside heat. A lot of storylines going around with Diggs maybe forcing a trade. He denied it, said he wants to be in Minnesota. We'll see how that plays out. Thielen's got to keep his mouth shut also. As true as it might be that, you want your quarterback to get the throws, go talk to him if you have a problem. Don't fucking say in the media, you got to make the throws. You just got to hit the guy when they're open. Like, what is that accomplishing?
Cousins goes and apologizes. Which
weak.
He's the quarterback. He's got to take the high road.
Definitely has to take it puts him in a bad position. Like, either you apologize and everybody shits on you for looking weak, or you don't say anything and
I think
you look like
and
an ass.
Thielen's not going to take any heat because everybody agrees with what he's saying.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Whether it was weak or not, I think just for the situation, it was right to just apologize, let it die. You don't want any more friction,
Yeah.
Right.
Might as well just.
Yeah.
It already happened. It was said whether Thielen shouldn't have or not.
Cousins came out, had a great day. He fed Thielen and Diggs all game. Everybody was eating. Everybody was happy. I think, and this is we might as well make a prediction on the game here while we talk about it. I think I'm gonna go with the Vikings just because I like the weapons that they have on offense, and I think that they're figuring it out. I'm not ready to bail out on them just yet. I'm gonna take Minnesota at home.
I'm going to agree with you for those same reasons. And one thing that has remained constant about the Vikings throughout the years is the defense is still really good. And, Eagles' offense is nothing to write home about. So
if Deshaun's still out, too, because...
Yeah, it's a big loss.
Yeah, he's big for them. And Alshon is just, I don't think he's a solo act.
Definitely not an Aguilar.
I guess we got our trifecta here.
We're all on Minnesota.
We're all on Minnesota. The Eagles did not impress. Despite the trouncing of the Jets, they didn't really not impress me. And their secondary is really banged up. And I think the only reason they're playing Luke Falk, that's why they didn't get exposed. But I saw a lot of guys running open. So the secondary is not great. The front seven's okay. They have Fletcher Cox, but I think the Vikings are more talented, and they're coming off a nice win. I think it'll be a good game, but I'm going to take the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings have struggled this year. Well, Cousins has struggled, but the Vikings have been winning games. They've been in games, so I think they'll win this one.
They haven't met their demise, Buffalo, yet. Remember, didn't they trounce them last year?
Oh, that's right.
They beat them 48-5.
Like week 2 or something.
40, yeah, it's
It
crazy.
was bad. All right, so
we got
now
a fourth one, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the last game that we do. You've got the Saints marching right into the heart of Minshew mania, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Somebody kick us off, I think.
What's the word on Ramsey? He's still out?
He's not playing.
All right. Is he
Doesn't seem
hurt or he
interested
just
in
doesn't
playing.
want to play?
I think it's...
You pick whatever you want. His wife's pregnant. His
Yeah,
back
all right.
hurts. He wants a trade. I don't know.
I'm gonna go
all the above.
I'm going to go with the Saints. I love Minshew. I think he's playing well. I think he still will play well. I just think the Saints are obviously way better coached. They're a more disciplined team. They're just more talented overall. You got Michael Thomas. Bridgewater looked really good last week. Finally had sort of a breakout game. Maybe he's got some more confidence to start letting it fly. I think he finally just realized, oh, Michael Thomas is filthy. Maybe I should just throw him the ball and he'll catch it. So... Yeah, I think with Ramsey out especially, nobody's stopping Michael Thomas. You got Alvin Kamara back there. I know the best receiver in the league is on the other side, Chark. DJ Chark is really a special talent.
Yeah, you're welcome for him.
Yeah,
but,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm picking the Saints in this one. I think it's could be a smack in the mouth for Minshew mania there.
I agree with you. I'm taking New Orleans. I don't think that there's that much to it. Saints are one of the best teams in the NFL. My one concern for Bridgewater would be him going on the road and being away from the dome in New Orleans. But it's Jacksonville, and it's going to be beautiful weather. Assuming it's not raining. Who knows with Florida weather.
It rains for 10 minutes and stops. So
yeah, I'm going to assume it's going to be a nice day. I think as long as everything is, Bridgewater is the kind of guy, if the weapons are there, if everything is in place and he's in a good situation, he can get it. He can get the job done, as we've seen the past 3 weeks. Jaguars defense has not lived up to their expectations this year, getting carved up last week by Kyle Allen. I mean, they've been giving up points left and right. They don't have really a lot of sacks to put up on the board. I don't know why. Their front seven is supposed to be good. 1 turnover on the year. It's just been a disappointment, and Minshew's keeping them in games.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to take the Saints. I just think the better team here is going to get the win.
Josh Allen's been good for them, though.
Yeah, has he been?
Yeah.
I haven't really heard much about him.
He has 2 or 3 sacks.
I haven't heard much of his name, but I mean, he was expected to be a top player coming out. That's good to see.
I'll take the Saints, too. You guys pretty much covered it.
No, I know.
What? Because I said I was going to... Well, that was when we were only picking 3 games. So...
Spineless.
Alex said he was going to take the Jaguars
Calling
before.
us wussies.
I think it's going to be a good game. Good low-scoring game. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater broke out, but I still think he's not that good.
I don't think he broke out he's going to take over Breeze's spot.
Buccaneers. So
I just think,
it
could be a confidence booster.
Jaguars defense is much better than the Buccaneers. But, yeah. Both defenses are very good.
Saints defense is so good.
Yeah.
They don't get talked about a lot because of what they have on offense, but they're legit.
Yeah, definitely.
Held the Cowboys to 10 points.
Yeah.
I'll go 19-16 Saints. Close game.
I can see that.
I like it.
All right, so we added a bonus game, and we all picked the same team. So
Yeah.
we're really going to pick up some ground there.
Yep. That was my strategy. Just pick the same teams as you guys. I'll never.
You picked first.
Well,
Good try, though.
just trying to, make the fans laugh and like me.
Okay. Well,
You guys got any final
work on
thoughts about this baseball game? Is this an upset right here?
It
yeah,
is.
Tampa Bay
Yeah.
forcing Game 5. Winner takes on the Yankees. Game 5 will be on Thursday night.
Yeah, I forgot baseball first round is 5, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 games. So this is going
Nice.
to be 2-2.
I don't like that guy.
Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
When they won the World Series that time, he was pissing me off.
Yeah, he's a big bitch. But
Chip on his
should be
shoulder
fun.
kinda
I'm
guy.
excited to see what the Yankees can do against Houston.
Yeah.
But other than that, I got nothing.
All right. You about you?
Baseball?
Or just any final thoughts on anything? Send in questions.
Yeah,
The
send
memo
us
email. I'll
questions.
put it on the screen here. The memo questions@gmail.com. Do not go see Rambo. Wait till it's on DVD. But go see The Joker. I put a little review on our page. Thought it was great. You guys should see
Make
it too.
sure
I
to
do
check
have
out
to see
Matt's
it.
betting tips
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also,
if you
1
want to
and
lose
2.
your money.
Yeah, 1 and 2 both weeks. Listen, I give a fair warning before I start giving the tips. Take it with a grain of salt. I haven't had the best track record,
Maybe
but I like to give advice. I think I've got
maybe
good
invest
insight.
in salt.
Maybe, yeah. yeah.
Before.
Listen, it's for fun. Do what you want. By the time those picks go out, I think everybody has their bets in. But at least you can mock me when my picks are wrong, which
Yeah,
I've gotten a
and
lot of
it's-
people doing. Thanks, guys.
It's funny for us too. So,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you for tuning into the memo. Goodbye.
Peace.